today we're taking an apartment tour of my apartment here in Hickory, North Carolina. It's a 1-bedroom, but it's really cool. So come on in, I'll show you around. Let's go.
Big Snoop Deal Double G. I want to welcome y'all to my house, the dog house. Slide in. This the room where nobody gets kicked.
Come on in. Oh, make sure you wipe your feet before you come in. Gotta keep it clean. Here we are. I'll go ahead and take off my jacket and we'll get cozy. We'll start over here on this side in the living room. Welcome to my living room. Ta-da! Of course, we have some CoreniaBug playing on the TV, of course. And over here, you can see I'm in the holiday spirit. I have my Christmas tree all set up and ready. Yeah. When you live in a small space, you kind of have to work with the space you have. And even though I have this small tree, it's not the size that matters. It's not. My tree is still very holly jolly and festive. But do you think the star is big enough? I know it has a really big star on the top, but it's so nice. And then I've got my little gnome friends here at the bottom. Yeah. Hey, little gnomes. I'm just hanging with my gnomies. Aw, but yeah, they're always causing mischief around in the living room. Oh, yeah. And then we've got our L-shaped couch, which is so comfortable. Oh my gosh, you guys, this couch. You may have seen I have recorded some of my other videos here on the couch, and it's very comfortable. And this was actually the first adult, like big girl piece of furniture that I purchased. Before that, I only had like hand-me-downs or, you know, thrifted items. But this was the first piece of furniture. I went to Ashley Furniture and bought this couch, and it is really great. It's held up over the years, and I still love it. Yeah. The one thing I wish it had, though, is like, you know, like where I can kick my feet up and like one of the reclining thingies. I wish it had that, but other than that, it's a really great couch. I love it. And we do have, just outside here, there's a small balcony. I'll see if I can open this up and kind of show you guys the balcony a little bit. We're not going to go out there because it's freezing cold outside, but I will just open up the curtains. And also because it's winter and it's freezing right now, I don't have any furniture or anything out there at the moment because I'm not really utilizing that space, but it's pretty cool. Not exactly the best view over the parking lot, I guess, but still nice to have a little outdoor space that you can enjoy if you want to. Yeah. We'll just close that back up. Yeah. And, oh, one thing I do want to point out in the living room is actually this really awesome chest right here. And the reason this is so cool is because my dad made it. My dad built this chest for me, and so it is so special. And it really provides a lot of storage. I have had this chest for a long time. It may be time for like a refinish or maybe put a coat on it to protect it so it'll last many, many more years. But he was an amazing craftsman. And as we're going throughout the apartment, you'll see other awesome pieces that he built and made with his woodworking and stuff. But I love this chest, and like I said, great place for storage because when you live in a small space, storage comes at a premium. The storage is precious for sure. Yeah. Well, I guess we can move on to the dining area. It's going to be, we'll just flip around over this way. And the first thing I'll show you over here is my record player. It's so awesome. I had a record player all growing up and in college, and I just love listening to records. I just feel like they have a great sound and a nostalgic feel to them. So I love having my record player. And I keep a lot of my records under here. I want to show you this one in particular. So this one is Boots Randolph. If you don't know who Boots Randolph is, he's a saxophone player, and he played yakety sax. Don't talk back. But he played yakety sax. It's an amazing saxophone song. And he wrote this letter to my dad. They had been kind of talking back and forth, and so he wrote this letter, and he actually sent my dad tickets to one of his concerts. So we got to go to the concert in person and have him autograph this album. So this particular record is very special to me. But I have a lot of other really cool records, and I'm trying to grow my collection. So we'll see what other cool records maybe I can accumulate. And talking about the saxophone and the album, you'll notice my Eminem friend. He's my little jazz Eminem, but he's pretty cool. And he's got his saxophone there, kind of playing some blues and some jazz. I really like having him hanging around. And if you'll notice, these really cool cabinets. These are a newer-ish addition to the apartment. They are from Amazon, and they're metal, if you can hear that, but they have a good look to them. I think they look like wood. Maybe if you didn't know that they were metal, it could fool you, but they have so much storage, and they weren't too difficult to put together. Admittedly, my husband put them together, and I was the supervisor. Yeah, I did a great job supervising. Yeah. But they turned out really great, and we just used these to collect our shoes as we're coming in the door, put extra linens and cleaning supplies, so kind of a catch-all storage area with all of these cabinets here. Oh, and this piece up here is really cool. That's another piece that my dad made, and it's a really cool wine rack. It's actually collapsible, so you can put it into storage if you want to. Now, it seems like somebody may have drunk all the wine that was on the wine rack. I wonder who did that, who drank all the wine. But we're going to conduct a thorough investigation, and we're going to have a stern talking to that person before we buy some more wine. Yeah, but it's a really cool wine rack. My dad actually used to own a winery, and he made his own wine, which was cool. And that is where this neon came from. This was the open sign that hung in his winery. So I've just kind of kept it around, and I just think it's kind of neat to have it. Yep. Open for business. Yep. And our tables are pretty cool. Again, with a small space, you kind of just have to have furniture that fits your space. But the chairs for this slide in and out from under. And what's really cool is that I can flip this table out this way if I'm expecting guests or company to come over, and we can have dinner and we can all sit around the table this way. But on a regular basis, of course, it's just me and my husband, and so we only need the 2 seats most of the time. So you just have it tucked away against the wall over out of the main walking path here. And then over this way, we'll continue into the kitchen. It's not a super large kitchen, but it actually has a lot of space compared to some other kitchens that I've seen in my friends' apartments. There is a decent amount of cabinet space and counter space in this kitchen, and it's not super narrow, but I feel like my husband and I do a good job of navigating the kitchen together. That's kind of a hard thing to do when you're in a small kitchen, is have 2 people working together, but I feel like we do a good job of that and navigating around each other. And do keep my grocery list right here on the fridge. I've got just a little whiteboard here, and so as I need stuff throughout the week, I will write it onto the board, so when I'm doing my grocery order, I will make sure I don't forget anything. So I'll write all my stuff there right on the fridge. Yeah. And all your other standard kitchen stuff, you know, you gotta have a sink and then a microwave, all your typical kitchen stuff, I guess. I do try really hard to keep my counters as clear as possible because of the limited space. You need more prep room for when you're cooking. So I try really hard to keep them as clear as I can, but there are a few items that I keep out all the time. And one is my oatmeal container. I eat oatmeal pretty much every morning for breakfast. So I just keep my oatmeal handy on the counter, ready to rock and roll in the mornings. And I also have this fun basket out just for the holidays to kind of have little snacks and things or protein bars out on the counter. And we have our holiday cookie jar, which seems to be empty. There's no cookies in here at the moment. It seems a similar situation to the wine. Somebody seems to have eaten all the cookies. Well, we'll have to figure out who that was. And then we'll have to get some more cookies. But I honestly try not to keep too much cookies around because if they are here, I will eat them. So I try not to keep too much cookies in the kitchen or else I'll just keep eating them. Yeah. And over on the stove, I've got my teapot here, and I use this really often because I do like tea first thing in the morning. I mix that with my supplements, and so I have tea in the morning. Also, we have a pour over coffee maker, and I'll use the teapot to heat up the water for our coffee if I'm making coffee here at home. Yeah. And I'm not going to show you inside my fridge because there's actually like nothing in there right now. Because this week I'm going to be trying a new meal service. It's called Cook Unity, and it's supposed to be arriving tomorrow. So I can't wait to see how the meals are from Cook Unity. And I'll definitely update you guys on how they are and, you know, the convenience of them and try to see how they were packaged. And so stay tuned if you want to find out about the meal service Cook Unity that I'm receiving tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to turn on my lamp. There we go. Now our lamp's on. Just a little decor, little holiday put together there to try to bring some joy into the kitchen with our little llama and our holiday decor. Yeah. All right. And then we're moving right along this way. And we'll take this long trek down the hallway. I do have in the hallway here my Phantom of the Opera poster hanging up. I always loved the Phantom of the Opera, and actually when I was in high school, my friends and I would always get together and sing all the different parts. A lot of them were in the chorus in school. I was in the marching band. They were in the chorus, but we would get together and we would sing the Phantom of the Opera together. And I always enjoyed that movie. So I still have the poster here hanging up in the living room. I mean, the hallway. The Phantom of the Opera is here inside my mind. Oh. But anyways, come on this way, guys. So we're heading into the bedroom. And again, the apartment is just one bedroom, but that's all I need. It's just one. It'd be nice to have an extra one, but one is fine. And so in here, I will tell you the furniture that I have is my childhood furniture set. So I have a dresser and another dresser over there that are older-ish. But they are well loved and they still function. But maybe one of these days I'll invest in a new furniture set for the bedroom. But for now, it works just fine. And over this way, I have my closet. And I'll show you guys my closet, even though it's a little bit messy right now. It's not too bad. It has been messier. But here's my closet, and I have way too many clothes. That's for sure. I am a recovering hoarder. So living in a small apartment has been really good for me as far as trying to downsize, trying not to keep too many things. But clothes is one area that I still struggle, definitely. So I'm still working on trying to downsize my clothes to make sure that my closet is functional and not just totally jam-packed. But yeah, there's my closet. You guys might see actually my Christmas sweater from my recent videos. I'm not sure what to do with it, but it's still in here. And I don't know if I'm going to keep it for other Christmas events or for next year, or I don't know what to do with it now, but we'll figure it out. But that's my closet. And then over in this corner, I've got a couple of little shelves stacked up with some of my books. You guys know I have a couple of joke books. I do love when people gift me joke books with any kind of jokes, but specifically dad jokes, obviously. So I've got some of those books over here in the corner. And I have my Oculus, my VR headset. So I keep that right here. And I love the Oculus. It is so cool. And there's a couple of different games that I really like to play using the VR headset. One of my favorite, though, is called Moonrider. And I think it's because I always used to love Guitar Hero. And so it's a game where some of you might know Beat Saber, where you have the lightsabers and you cut through the boxes. Well, this one, you just have these X's that come at you that go with the music. So you just have to punch the X's as they're coming towards you. So I really like Moonrider, and it's just a great way to be active and kind of get you moving, but also enjoying the music. So that's just one of the games that I like to play on the VR headset. And then, ooh, this piece of furniture is kind of an awkward shape, but this came from my grandpa's house. My dad's dad had this piece of furniture in his house. And I just thought it was cool, and I liked the shape of it. It was kind of unique. So honestly, when they were clearing out the house, nobody else claimed this piece of furniture, I guess. So I thought it would be cool for me to keep it. So maybe I'll refinish it one day or paint it or something. Let me know if you have any suggestions of how I should remake this piece of furniture, because it could be pretty cool. And you'll see my lava lamp is super awesome. I do love this lava lamp. I actually just bought it yesterday at Walmart because I had a lava lamp before, and it basically stopped lava-ing. All of the lava inside just clumped together, and then it didn't move anymore. And so I think I read that happens just when it gets old. The lava inside all clumps together and it won't do its thing. So I got a new one. But I really like it. I feel like it's good for mental well-being, just to have the lava lamp, and it looks cool whenever I just want to relax. I can watch all the little bubbles in there, and I really enjoy the lava lamp a lot. And I'll show you some of the cool stuff I have up on my wall. I do have some paintings down here that actually I painted. This middle one came from a sip and paint that my friends and I did together. So that's where these palm trees ones came from, is actually me and my husband painted those. Guess which one's mine? Let me know in the comments. But they both turned out really awesome, considering neither one of us are painters. And I do actually have my Mamas and Papas album framed here in the bedroom, because the Mamas and Papas album is very special to me. I also have, oh, this drawing is pretty cool of Western Carolina. This is how the campus used to look before they did a whole bunch of renovations. So I love this stippling drawing. My parents got this for me, but it's a really cool piece of art with the stippling drawing of the Western Carolina campus. Yeah. And then over behind me, you'll see all my buggies up here on the top shelf. Just act natural, you guys. They love you already. Just act natural. But we've got all of our buggies here and some over here too. But this middle shelf is kind of a collection of knickknacks, things that I've made. And honestly, this stuff could probably use its own video where I could go through all the items and talk about where I got each one or how I made that item, if it's something I made. I will just point out this in particular. This was my grandma's jewelry box. So I do have some of her jewelry items in here. But this is a really cool antique jewelry box that belonged to my grandma. So I do keep this one out where I can see and enjoy it. Yeah. But let me know if you guys want to hear the backstories to any of these other cool items that you're seeing on this hodgepodge shelf of knickknacks. And this here is the best place in the whole world. This is my favorite place. If I never had to leave, I wouldn't. I also call it the pastures. You know, like put me out to pasture. But I have a down comforter on here, which is so cozy and amazing. And the sheets I have are also a really good quality sheet. I mean, let's face it, you spend a lot of time in the bed. Well, at least I do. Not as much as I wish I did. But it's good to invest, you know, in high quality sheets and covers and things like that because you want to be super cozy and get the best rest that you can. Yeah. But this right here is my favorite place in the whole world. Oh boy. I don't want to get up now. Okay. Alright, okay, let's go. We'll continue on our apartment tour over this way. This one's my husband's closet. We won't look in there, but I'll tell you, he's more tidy than me. Admittedly, I'm really lucky, I guess, in that way that he's actually more organized and more tidy than I tend to be. So I'm the one always trying to keep up with him in that regard. But over this way is the bathroom. I don't know if you and me will be able to fit in the bathroom together because it's pretty small, but we'll try. Come on. The really cool part is my shower curtain and picture that I have on the wall. As you come around the corner here, you'll see this super awesome shower curtain. I used to have just everything all white in here. It was just white, and that just started to feel a little boring. It felt clean and crisp, but kind of boring. So I thought I needed a little color in my life. We needed some color in the bathroom. So I got this really cool kind of beach theme shower curtain that has an awesome sunset and some palm trees. But the star of the show is my shark poster, right? It's a shark. But I just love mindset is everything. So you've got this goldfish here with his shark fin on, and he believes that he's a shark. So he is one, right? But this picture just really makes me feel motivated whenever I get up in the morning, I'm getting ready for my day. I really love this poster. And I'm so glad it just adds a level of fun, I think, to the bathroom. What do you think? Yeah. Super cool. Okay, back this way. I just kind of wanted to talk about some things that I love and some things I hate about a tiny apartment living. There are things that I love, so I'm going to talk about those first. Number one, the first thing that I love is being close to where I work. I love having a short commute in the morning. I only live about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on traffic lights, from where I work. And I really enjoy that I don't have a long commute. For one, it costs a lot less in gas and it doesn't put so many miles on my car. So I love living close to work and being close to downtown. And that brings me to the next thing I love is actually being close to downtown. Downtown, there are a ton of really cool bars and restaurants. There's even grocery stores close by and the farmers market, which happens in downtown Hickory. So I love being close to all of those places. I don't really go out during the weekdays. I mostly cook at home and stay at home on the weekdays, but I love going out on the weekends to get a drink or something to eat. So it's really cool being close to all of those places. And sometimes in downtown Hickory, they have some really cool events in the downtown square. They'll have like festivals or just special events that are happening. So it's really cool to be super close to all those events. I actually can walk there if I want to, if it's nice weather outside, and if it's an event that parking will be an issue, I can actually walk from my apartment to the downtown area and not even have to worry about the parking. So that part's really cool. The next thing that I love about apartment living is the no maintenance / low maintenance. I mean, obviously there's some things that I have to do, but I'm not spending my Saturdays mowing grass. There's no yard work. And I know that some people really enjoy doing yard work. They love mowing grass or love planting flowers outside. And that is their zen thing that they love to do. But that is not my favorite thing to do. And I have other hobbies and interests that I would like to spend time doing aside from yard work. So for me, that's a big benefit, is that I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's all taken care of. And we have a pool that we get to use all summer long. So if I do want to take a swim or hang out by the pool in the summertime, I can do that at any time during the summer. And I don't have to worry about maintaining it and cleaning it, putting chlorine in it, or any of that stuff. So I love that the pool is there for use for me and the residents, and I don't have to worry about maintaining that or anything. Another part of no maintenance, low maintenance is unexpected fixes. If the water heater goes out, or if something happens and we need a new roof, which actually happened. They did replace our apartment roof. It's probably been a couple years ago now, but they did replace the entire apartment complex, got a new roof. So, but things like that, you don't have to worry about the cost and take the burden of that cost onto yourself. And the price is the price. So when I pay my monthly rent, that includes all of those fixes and unexpected things that might come up if you owned a house. So I really like that about apartment living. No unexpected major costs that come up for me. I do live in an older apartment complex. This particular apartment complex was built in the 70s, and some of my neighbors have lived here since the 70s. Some people joke and say, oh, you live in the retirement community. I'm like, no, it's not a retirement community. It just happens to be that there are quite a few people who have lived here for quite some time. But they're all really chill. I like them. And I am actually really lucky that all the neighbors in my particular unit are all really chill, because neighbors can make or break your apartment experience. If you have terrible neighbors, then living in an apartment can be terrible. But I feel like everybody is mostly courteous of each other. Nobody's making too much excessive noise at weird times or anything like that, because sharing walls with people, especially in an older building where the walls are kind of thin, can be interesting if your neighbors are not courteous in that way. So I'm really lucky, because I've had some neighbors come and go over time that I've lived here, because I've been here quite some time as well. And some neighbors I had in the past were not quite as nice or courteous as the ones I have now. So I really love the neighbors I have now, and hopefully they will also stay here for a long time. On the other hand of things, there are some aspects of tiny apartment living that I hate. One of them is shared laundry spaces. You either have to use a shared laundry that we have here in the building or go to a laundromat. And I do use the laundry that's in the building, and the machines work well. We also have an app. Actually, we used to have quarters, which was kind of annoying because getting to the bank, because I work 9 to 5, so getting to the bank during a time that I could get quarters was always frustrating. But now we upgraded and we have an app that works with the washers and dryers, so you can just use your app to pay for your laundry. So that's actually really convenient, and I'm super glad that we upgraded to that. There are some folks that didn't like that switch and they wanted the quarters. So I think some of the units, some of the buildings actually do still have the quarter option. So it was really nice that our landlord still took both folks into consideration, the people who wanted the quarters and also the people who like the app. So it's nice to have the option for both. But in the laundry room, people, even though I love my neighbors and I just talked about how amazing they are and courteous, the laundry room, with it being a shared space, there's no one really going in there and like cleaning it often. So say somebody like spills some detergent on the floor or something like that, it might be there a while because nobody's really like tidying up the laundry room and maintaining it like that. So that's just kind of one of the downsides. Also, if I need to do laundry and obviously somebody else has the washer and dryer tied up at the moment, that can get a little frustrating, especially if somebody forgets that their laundry's in there or leaves it sitting in there for a long time. It's always kind of awkward, like, do I take it out? Do I not take it out? I hate to like touch somebody else's clothes and it'd be weird. I don't know. So that's just one of the frustrating parts sometimes, is navigating the shared laundry space. Yeah. It'd be nice if like I had an in-unit washer and dryer. That would be super cool, but it's okay because I feel like there's still more benefits than there is cons to the tiny apartment living. But that's one of the things that I absolutely hate. Yeah. The next thing that I really hate about having a tiny one-bedroom apartment is just the lack of storage space. You guys saw I did add some extra cabinets that really help out with having extra storage space. But especially because I used to be a hoarder, not like super crazy, but I definitely had hoarding tendencies where I would keep way too much stuff. So living in a tiny apartment, you just don't have the room for that stuff. Even like holiday decorations. You guys saw my small tree that I have, but that's also because I don't really have anywhere to store a mega big Christmas tree when I'm not using it. So I can't always have all the things I wish I had as far as holiday decor. And I have to keep that stuff pretty minimal at times because I just don't have anywhere to store it. And some people might say, well, you could get a storage unit. Well, storage units are also really expensive. So if I had a storage unit, probably the price point that I would be paying, I could maybe just get a bigger apartment. So, also sentimental items or like keepsake items. I don't really have a lot of space for boxes and boxes of keepsake stuff from like my childhood or things like that. So I just have to be really selective in what I choose to keep and the items that mean the most to me. But I feel that's a good practice. I have tried really hard to become more minimalist as time has passed, and I think I'm doing okay job. I'm just still will always be filtering through that hoarder mindset and trying to be more in the minimalist mindset. Some people ask me, why don't you buy a house, or do you not want to buy a house? And I might entertain the idea of purchasing a home at some point, but the prices are ridiculous. I mean, when I was a kid, you could purchase a home, a good house, for $100,000. If you spent $100,000 on a house, you were living good. Now, I feel like you spend $100,000 and you get a fixer-upper that's like barely standing. Something tiny, it needs a ton of work. I feel what $100,000 gets you now is like crap. So I'm just not interested personally in putting that much money into something that I'm not happy with and that needs that amount of work. So I'm okay with an apartment for now, just because the perks outweigh the cons and the price point of homes are just too ridiculous for me to entertain right now buying a house. But maybe one day that might change. Maybe not the prices, but my desire to purchase might change. Who knows? And that's another thing, is who knows where I'll be in the future. I really do love Hickory, North Carolina. It's awesome. But will I be here 5 years from now? 10 years from now? I don't know. I love it here, but I'm also open to other areas. I do love to travel, and I might find a place that I love even more than Hickory. But it just, buying a house feels like a really, really big commitment. I know that you can sell the house and move, but moving from an apartment seems a lot more flexible than moving from a house that I own. Yeah. Oh, another thing that I just would like to bring up is that some of my friends who do own homes find themselves to be house poor. They've put all of their extra funds and all of their extra money into their house, so they don't have any money to travel on vacation or to go out on a Saturday night. And I really love that flexibility of funds to be able to do those other things that I'm interested in doing, rather than putting all the money just into owning a home. So overall, I love my one-bedroom apartment in Hickory, and I plan to stay here for the foreseeable future. I don't have any plans of moving, and hopefully you guys liked the apartment tour. Let me know if there's any parts of the tour or things that you saw that you would be interested in me talking more about. But stay tuned, because there's still a couple weeks left of Vlogmania, Mania. And I will see you guys later. Goodbye.